My name is Andrea Antoinette Jones, and this is the male who I am pregnant by. A lot of you may see my videos where I'm talking about my pregnancy and talking about a son that is missing that I do not have. I'm asking for him to be returned from a woman named Cynthia Olvera. And y'all may be seeing some videos with the evidence and a child on there that looks mixed race. That's our child together. And then you see me holding my stomach and saying they're starving me or abusing me. I'm pregnant. Someone help. I'm pregnant by Austin John Metter. So what I want to do is start off with a prayer to Jehovah the Father. And I want to start off with a prayer to Jesus Christ. And Father, lead me, Lord. Please help this evidence to stay up online. I ask that you punish anyone who removes any evidence about what I'm saying. I ask that you do not allow them to remove any more of my channels, or that you expose it in your own way by your power and your glory to save me and my children here in the country from their father, Austin John Mitter. So now, let me end that by saying in the name of Jesus. A lot of people think it's a joke and they think it's a game because they have been terrorizing us for Austin, and they have been removing channels, removing evidence, and just trying to have me looking like a fool pregnant by him online. And then not wanting to show his mug shots, not wanting to show his face and show that they're abusing me for Austin. I shot Austin. I shot Austin in his leg because Austin was assaulting me and I was pregnant. Austin was assaulting my child and Austin was assaulting me with my child. So I tried to get the police to help us, but they wouldn't because Austin was white. They were allowing him to attack me repeatedly in my home. I thought that the baby died in me, but the baby was still alive after they arrested me for shooting Austin. So they brought me into the jail. They trumped up charges, meaning they lied and started charging me for self-defense. Then they took my baby and said that they raped him with Austin's mother, Cynthia Olvera. They told me that they raped him because I was black. And they said that I shot Austin in white people's country. I was pregnant and I was telling the staff in the medical infirmary that I was pregnant by Austin, but they didn't care because Austin was white and because I shot him in the leg. So they were trying to murder me before my trial, and they were torturing me and the baby inside of a segregated housing unit way in the back of the jail in Montgomery County in Conroe, Texas. I was screaming in the cell, and I knew that they said they had raped my baby. I was in a lot of pain. I started having contractions. My family was involved. They felt that because Austin was white and because I was black, that it was okay to let the whites rape my little boy, rape my baby. He was 22 months old when I shot Austin. And he was with me when Austin was attacking me. And they took him from the scene of the shooting, saying that they raped him with police because I was black. And they said that it was their country. I haven't seen my little boy since the day of the shooting. The shooting was about my little boy. because Austin, he was attacking him by assaulting him after he attacked me in the restaurant where I went for help. He started attacking me first in my apartment, and the police would not help us. Then he ran me outside, attacking me with my child in my arms in the street. I didn't want to be with Austin anymore because he kept attacking me and they kept letting him get away with it. So I wanted Austin out of my home. They were saying that his mom was helping me out with the bills. So they were saying that I could not make him leave, although he was assaulting me. He was hitting me while I was pregnant. I got pregnant by Austin again, and he had just been released from prison, and he was assaulting me, raping me, and hitting me in my house. I wanted him to leave, and I wanted him to leave. So I was calling the police in Conroe, and they would not make him leave. I owned a .380 handgun, and I pulled the gun and put it in my purse. Then I shot Austin in the leg in a restaurant. I went into the restaurant asking them to dial 911, and Austin came in attacking me with my baby, and I was pregnant. So I shot Austin over my son. When he was being violent with my son, he was dangling him upside down. Then he started squeezing his rib cage. Then he started going around in circles, being violent with him, refusing to give him back to me after he attacked me. I was bleeding. I was pregnant. And I shot him in the leg. There was more to it, but this is what's going on. There was more to it before I shot him, like the struggle. There was somebody trying to restrain Austin. There was a witness that said that Austin was being stupid with my baby and that I was protecting myself. But the Conroe police were racist, so they decided to charge me and brought me into jail telling me that I was not pregnant and starving me, saying that they were letting everybody rape my little boy. They gave him to Austin's mother, Cynthia, at the scene. And Cynthia said she raped my little boy that I have with Austin. And she said that she was putting a hit out on the baby that I'm carrying, saying that it was because of Austin's leg. She said that she was raping my little boy to death, my baby to death. And she said that she was letting Austin rape my son because I shot him in the leg. Then they tried to cover up all of the evidence about my pregnancy inside of the jail, although it was confirmed by a nurse and a doctor. They had starved us, and the hospital didn't want nothing to do with it. They didn't want to confirm my pregnancy, and people that were racist wanted me dead in my cell instead of confirming that I was pregnant. I'm pregnant by Austin, and the baby is still alive in me. Austin had previous charges. He had charges for drug possession, theft. He was charged with assault, family violence. He was charged with assault on a public servant. He was on a 2-year felony probation for assault on a public servant. He was charged with rape, and he was convicted for assault on a public servant. It seemed like they were trying to cover up that he was assaulting me, but he got the assault family violence charge for assaulting me and the rape charge. I was pregnant when he was assaulting me after he was released from prison for assault. He got me pregnant, and then he started assaulting me again. My son almost died when I was pregnant, and I really don't want to keep telling what God told me to tell the prosecutor when I was in the jail, or what everybody claimed that they was trying to help me, but I prayed to the Lord, and He told me to say that I called the police several times. He was assaulting me. I told the police he was assaulting me. He fled from the police. He was raping and hitting me while I was pregnant. His charges include drug possession, theft, assault, family violence, assault on a public servant, rape. He was on a 2-year felony probation for assault on a public servant, and he was convicted for assault on a public servant. Austin Metter kept assaulting me. Austin kept assaulting me. I tried to get him to stop. I did not want to let Austin Metter inside of the home. His leg got hurt. No, he was assaulting me in my kitchen. His leg got hurt when I ran in the street screaming for the police. He was assaulting us. And then God said, give the evidence. And there were 19 911 calls reporting Austin Metter abusing me from November 2015 up until the day of the shooting, September 18, 2018. And the Lord said that Austin's mother, Cynthia Olvera, was trying to help the Conroe police cover up all of the evidence that Austin had been abusing me. The Lord also said to tell about the damages to my property. There were huge holes punched and kicked all over the house. He destroyed the television, the car. He destroyed different things all over the house, and he had been assaulting my child. The Lord said, tell them that he was abusing me and my child, my son, and that I was pregnant. The Lord said that he could have killed my children, and he said that to Austin's dad because Austin's dad wanted to shoot me, Joseph Olvera, and kill me for shooting Austin, and God said he could have killed our children. And Joseph was saying that he was raping my child because I was black with his wife and police officers. And because Austin was white and I shot him in the leg. And then they were saying that they were going to have my baby and me killed and kill my baby and me. So they starved me in the jail from January 2019 after Sheriff Jim McDougal said that he had went and got the evidence, all the evidence that I was not guilty. I have somebody coming into the family lounge in the Galleria staring directly at my stomach as I'm recording this information. And I would like it if y'all would stop bothering me while I'm giving my testimony about Austin Metter and his family. Leave me alone. Joseph Olvera said that he was raping my child with the Conroe police, and they said that they were putting a hit out on the baby that I'm carrying. They starved me in the jail, which is why he's coming in here looking at my stomach. They starved me in the jail. Now he's leaving. Good. Thank you, Jesus. I'm in here alone, and that's what I need to be alone while I'm telling what they did to my pregnancy. They starved me after Sheriff Jim McDougal found out the evidence. JIMMCDOUGAL. If you Google Jim McDougal, Conroe, Texas, there should be an article about him on crime.com. And he had the evidence that I was pregnant and that Austin was also attacking me with the baby that I'm carrying. And they said they were raping my child, and then Jim did not turn over the evidence that I was pregnant by Austin as well, and was about to let them set me up to be killed inside of the jail pregnant while saying they were raping my toddler, my 2-year-old, for Austin's leg because I was black. And the entire country wanted them to do this because Austin was white, despite the evidence. They starved me from January 2019 to August 22nd, 2019, poisoning me and the baby's food in the back of the jail and saying that I was not pregnant and having my family, Shakina Jones, in on it, Larissa Jones, my grandmother, Irma Marshall, my cousin, Kiana Wiley. And it really doesn't matter at this point because the whole country is continuing to try to lie about it, which is why I'm continuing to post information. And they released me with the baby still alive in me on all charges, August 22nd, 2019, pregnant and starved. My stomach was so small that it looked like I was only maybe 2 months pregnant. Austin knew that I was pregnant by him, and he knew that they were trying to kill us in the jail. And he knew that I knew that they told me that they were raping my child and that he was raping my child about his leg and setting me up to be murdered pregnant in the jail because he was white. So he knew that there was a hit out on me and his children. And he was allowing them to do it because I shot him in the leg in self-defense. So they trafficked me to my sister and black males with criminal charges, my sister Shakina Jones, and they starved me at her home and had them lying about my pregnancy on ultrasounds. And then they trafficked me to black males with criminal charges up until December 2019, where there was a custody hearing where they were going against me, refusing to return my child that they said that they were raping in January 2019. They told me that they were raping him. And they had Shakina frame me outside with Cynthia Olvera and Austin's family and had blacks framing me outside in Texas. And then when I went to the custody hearing, they gave my son away to Cynthia Olvera, and she said that she was raping him with the Masonic Brotherhoods and the KKK, raping my son because I shot Austin even after I was released on all of the charges. They were also covering up my pregnancy by starving me from every location, including Shakina's home. They starved me the same way that they did in the jail. And they starved me even worse to cover up that they had done that to me in the jail and the baby was still alive in me. They denied that I was pregnant at Chambers County Clinic in 2019. They denied that I was pregnant in Baytown hospitals in 2019 because I was passing out trying to get medical care. And they made me leave saying that I was not pregnant. In December 2019, they had a black male traffic me from Conroe, Texas to Houston named Colin, knowing that I was pregnant, and he raped me and forced me to leave his home starved in January 2020, and they trafficked me to black males with criminal charges after they gave my baby away to be raped by the KKK and set me up outside to be starved the entire year of 2020 while pregnant with the baby alive in me by Austin Metter. They shut down all of the restaurants in the country and chased me around with black men and black women. And they refused to allow me into the restaurants. They started trying to have men set me up to be murdered out of different locations. I have white males coming into the Galleria Lounge and I'm trying to do my testimony. They made me have sex with probably hundreds of males. And the Lord said that I was pregnant until that they were raping me. They did this trafficking me with a suitcase, denying me into the Star of Hope and all of the women's shelters in Houston, Texas, leaving me outside for them to traffic me pregnant and starved to different males that had criminal charges, and they were raping me and starving me in houses and trying to fight me and kill the baby with black women that also had criminal charges or just wanted the baby dead for the whites in America. They trafficked me to a male named Henry Brown and tried to have me murdered in December 2020, pregnant and starved by racist white women in Texas. And they were trying to have black female officers stage the arrest out of a location where Henry had been starving me and trying to rape me. And I had started a YouTube channel October 2020 putting out the information, and they had been watching the YouTube channel for a couple of months, and then they tried to set me up to be murdered in Houston. My aunt started watching my channel as I started posting pictures of Austin's mug shots and pictures of me and my son together in our home where he was attacking us, the child that they said they raped that was there with me when he was assaulting me and being violent with us in the restaurant. And my aunt Barbara Thomas contacted me and said that she would help me in Arkansas. But when I went down there, she ended up leaving me pregnant outside, and the Arkansas police were chasing me around with white men in the dark, and I was being starved in Arkansas. And they had black males trying to help and white males trying to help hurt us outside in Arkansas. So I had my grandmother buy me a ticket to Atlanta, Georgia to get into shelters. And when I went to Atlanta, Georgia, they denied me into shelters. And I finally advocated to get myself into the Salvation Army, and they set me up. They were starving me inside of the Salvation Army. They were having men following me around inside the shelter and around the shelter. They had black women trying to fight me inside the shelter and outside the shelter. And I bought a fetal heart monitor. I forgot to tell y'all in 2020 when they were trying to kill me and trafficking me to black males, I took myself to St. Luke's Hospital, and they denied that I was pregnant and tried to crush the baby in my belly at St. Luke's Hospital. They were refusing fetal heart monitors and sonograms as I was posting on YouTube that I was at the doctor, and they tried to have them lie on my channel saying that I was not pregnant and tried to have them kill my baby on my channel and refuse heart monitors and sonograms and ultrasounds. And then I had to flee. They did it in Bentalb Hospital. They lied in Bentalb. They lied at St. Luke's. They lied at Baytown Hospitals and Chambers County Clinic Hospitals. And they had been lying from the Montgomery County Jail. And it was all because I shot Austin, and they had starved us and said that they were raping my child to white America like it was slavery, like slavery days. And God said that my baby's body, my little boy's body, was $70 million and that my pregnancy was $173 million. And in Atlanta, they staged for me to leave the shelter after I purchased a fetal heart monitor. I had posted everything, all the information from October 2020 all the way up until February 2021, and I had bought a fetal heart monitor, and they were saying that I was not pregnant, abusing me, starving me outside, which I can prove. And they tried to kill the baby after I posted the baby's heartbeat online from inside of the shelter, inside of the Salvation Army. They had a black woman named Rochelle Frazier that had been allowing them to give me poison food inside of the shelter. She tried to fight me. She staged an altercation. She came outside as I was working on evidence about the pregnancy and said, "What did you say in there to such and such?" I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am." I did not get into it with anybody. I stayed to myself the entire time. Everything was posted on my channel. I never got into it with anybody inside of the shelter. And she was like, I said, I didn't say anything to anybody. And then I was like, I'll just go in and get my stuff and I'll leave if y'all are going to be staging altercations. And she was like, do not go in there or I'm going to have you arrested. She thought that the fetal heart monitor was in my locker and trying to tell me that she wouldn't let me get my things. But the belt to the fetal heart monitor was in my locker. The fetal heart monitor was in my purse. And I had it. And she tried to kill the baby. She was like, leave the property now, or I'm calling the Atlanta police. And then they had a woman named Officer Graham start coming, walking towards me. And she was like, I'm about to get you. I'm about to slam you. Like, you know, She was talking about jumping on me to kill the baby for the whites. And because I had told them how long I've been carrying the baby and that they said they were raping my son in Texas because I shot my white baby daddy in the leg and that they tortured me pregnant in the jail and was denying me medical care. And Officer Graham told me that she was going to start fighting me if I didn't leave the property. And then Rochelle was trying to fight me, and they were all trying to jump me with Atlanta police and the people that had been plotting on me in and out of the shelter. So I left the shelter without none of my hygiene stuff, and they were trying to make me look dirty on my social media as I was telling about the case. And I kept posting the baby's heartbeat, and they trafficked me to a black male named Marcus Eugene Mitchell. And Marcus Eugene Mitchell told me that I had to say that he was my boyfriend, and he said that I had to have sex with him. He was arguing with me, trying to fight me in the apartment and trying to set me up with everybody in Atlanta, Georgia, and around the community. They were tampering with my food and starving me. He was trying to rape me hard and kill the baby in me. And they were trying to stop me from telling that Cynthia was a child molester. And before the Salvation Army made me leave, I had a vision, and there were black women crying from all over the country. And there was one young black woman that wanted to know when we were sitting in the spirit together. She was like, "Why is everybody crying?" And I had been posting the evidence of me and my son in our apartment, and he was a beautiful little boy, and I was a beautiful stay-at-home mom at the time. And he had them take my child, saying that they were bow down and worship Austin if he let them rape my little boy to death for shooting him in the leg. That white America and the entire country will worship him as a grand, I don't know, like some worshipful masters type stuff that they do. And the girls were crying, and one black woman that knows Cynthia Olvera, she said because Cynthia is a child molester, and that's who they gave my child to at the scene. And she said that she was having them gang raped by the police department and gang raped by black Freemasons. She was saying that she was having my little boy gang raped by drug dealers and criminals because I shot Austin in the leg, saying that she was a witch, that she was racist, that she was going to hell, that they were going to give my son AIDS and herpes all over his body and cut his body up and dump him in the trash bin and do the same thing to me and the baby that I was carrying, and said that it was because it was their country, white people's country, and that I shot Austin in the leg. And they also had my lawyer, Inger Chandler, INGERCHANDLER, stationed in the Woodlands, Texas, going through with this, saying that she was letting them rape my child while trying to murder me in the jail. And Inger had told me that I was innocent and that she would get me out. But she was secretly also telling me that she was letting them rape my baby and set me up to be killed. And she was pretending and then letting them take my baby to rape my baby and set me up to be murdered inside of the cell. So Marcus Eugene Mitchell staged for me to have to leave his location. And before I left the Salvation Army, God made me say in the spirit, when they said that Cynthia is a child molester and they was crying, I was just standing there, and it really, I didn't understand. Like, are they really raping my child and molesting my child and having them putting me out of the shelter while I'm putting out the evidence that they stole my son from me, saying they raped my baby? And then the Lord made me say, I'm putting out this evidence because Rochelle was trying to stop me from putting out the evidence in the shelter. They said they were setting me up as an Illuminati blood ritual so they could put him in the Illuminati, which is like the KKK. They were trying to stop me from working on the case, putting out evidence about my son. They were trying to stop you from seeing the baby moving. The military was messing with the phone. And as y'all can see, I was posting pictures of my son and my pregnancy. They said that they raped my child with the police department, the KKK, RN Brotherhood, And here I was putting out my baby's heartbeat, and they had the Salvation Army trying to stop me from putting out the evidence and trying to tamper with the food. Had black people in there doing it with whites, and they're doing it all over the country. They were trying to sex traffic me around the shelter and trying to ritually abuse me inside of the shelter, following me around for the whites and trying to stop me from putting out the evidence. They trafficked me to a man, forcing me out of the shelter, and then tried to have me killed for the KKK out of the location with him. And he was starving me and bringing me to motels from the apartment and starving me because I was showing my baby bump on social media. His name was Marcus Eugene Mitchell, and they were doing chemtrails over the apartment complex where he had me, and then he trafficked me to a hotel. He was abusing me about the evidence about my pregnancy and them saying they were raping my child in Texas. As you can see, the baby's heartbeat while I was in the apartment unit with him. I was still posting my baby's heartbeat March 30th, 2021. If you go on my channel, you will see. And this stemmed from the woman, Michelle Frazier, staging for me to have to leave so they could abuse me. And they abused me pregnant. I told that they said they were raping my child, and they are continuing to abuse me. The police are abusing me, all of the citizens out here because he's white. And they are going against the Lord because God said that I was not guilty. And this is my child that they said they were raping. I have not seen my child again. And they're abusing me and lying, saying I don't have custody of him. And that's not what's going on. They're abusing me outside for white supremacy and talking about they're worshiping the devil and that they don't care about Jesus Christ. Said that they were letting them rape my son for him, for his leg, because he was attacking us, and I'm pregnant, and they're trying to kill a baby in me for this long period of time that's still alive. And God said Andrea has to file murder charges on Austin's mother, Cynthia Olvera. If she keeps saying she keeping my son from me, here's the baby's heartbeat. It's his baby. They're still abusing me, and it's still alive in me. They're starving me, raping me, abusing me on the YouTube platform in front of the entire country, leaving me starving at the bus stop, begging me, making me beg for food, and swarming past me at the bus stop with white people, all the black people in the country, all the black men, all the black women are swarming around in cars and on foot, setting me up with white people pregnant and starved. God said the lawsuit about my pregnancy was 173 million, but I just want to see is my son alive.